All right, welcome to History with the Dogman. And today we're going to be looking at the early history of Australia. And we're going to look at the beginning of Melbourne. Now, Hobart was established in Tasmania. So we've got Hobart here. Now that's this is Hobart today, obviously. So there was a township there, city, all the way down south of Tasmania, and some ships have come up and explored the southern coast of what we call Victoria today. Now, they've come in to investigate Port Phillip Bay. Now, this is a notoriously dangerous bit of water. They call it the Rip because, as you can see, there's only that tiny little passageway and such a big body of water. So at low tide, the water's rushing out of there, and it would be virtually impossible to sail a ship against the Rip, and you could find yourself in grief if you're trying to negotiate that at the turn of the tide, especially if there wasn't much wind and you're going on sail power, on wind power, sorry. So they ended up in 1903. Sorry, what am I saying? 1803. Okay, let's get the story right. We don't know all the facts, but we're trying to work out all the facts. And what we're doing here on Dogman's history lessons is we're looking for the truth. Sometimes history is only as good as the last storyteller. But I'm getting this from the book called Remembering Melbourne, 1850 to 1960. And what they reckon is that in 1803, there was a settlement in Sorrento. So that's where Sorrento is today. Okay? And false starts at Sorrento. It was a convict settlement. Yeah, so somewhere here they had a convict settlement. Now, if you ask me, this is the perfect place to start a settlement. Like, if there's nothing here at all, except some huts left, left or being lived in by the indigenous people, then why not make it easy for yourself and start a settlement and get the settlement going? You've heard the story. You got to learn to crawl before you can walk, or you got to learn to walk before you can run. Why just go somewhere and say we're going to build a massive city here and plan out, a whole grid of roads and everything when you're battling against the harsh Australian outback? Anyway, they failed. Anyway, whatever they were doing here at Sorrento, they gave up. It was too harsh. But if you look that's where you would think they would come back to, because once you've negotiated the Rip and you come here, it's going to be really sheltered, and this is less travel. If you establish the port there instead of going all the way across the bay, and wasting hours to unload your goods, because remember back then there was nothing there at Melbourne. Like the historians say that there was absolutely nothing there. Next was Coronella. Now, Coronella was a military garrison established in 1826, and sealers and whalers and bark cutters made forays into the southern coast over the years, some building huts and interacting with the Aboriginal people, not always violently. Okay, so this is the garrison. Now, if you ask me, this is also the perfect place for a settlement. The mouth here is so much wider than that small rip, which means that you're not going to have so much water coming in and out. There's not as big a water. Most of it's an island. So I don't think you're going to find the same problems coming in and out of this the opening to the bay. And once you're in here, it'd be quite sheltered. So Coronella, that's it today. I mean, I reckon that this is the remains that we can see sort of some of these markings on there might even be the remains of a settlement, but maybe it's just what the farmers are doing. I don't know. But there's not much there today. It's just farms. That looks interesting. I wonder what that is. Maybe that's the remains of some military garrison. That looks interesting. That might be it. So other than that, there's not much here, but that is the perfect place to build a outpost. It's sheltered. And you've also got a back door. Okay, so here might be a little shallow, but if you take the wide berth, you'd be able to get out of there with a ship. So you've got the big opening, but if for whatever reason, let's say the French were wanting to claim this land and they were going to invade it, and they blocked off that, you could sneak out the back and come around and get them. So anyway, that's my analysis on the best places to actually start a civilization when there's nothing. I think Sorrento would have been perfect, but they failed, and they set up a military garrison on Coronella. Not much happened with that. So it's a mystery why this area up where Melbourne is today became such a hot spot, a desired spot. I mean, if you're going to make the effort to travel, I would have thought that Geelong, where Geelong is today, would have been a perfect spot for a major city. But they chose Melbourne, and we're going to investigate why in the next episode. So, and many episodes to come. So thanks for joining me. This is a pleasure to be presenting the history according to Dogman.